Well, good afternoon to anyone who's just joined us, and welcome to this webinar on using Compass Plus and Global Bridge effectively together. I'll start by saying that this session is being recorded today. So if you did have any colleagues who are registered for the event and haven't been able to join for whatever reason, or who wanted to come along but didn't register, everybody who's registered will be sent a recording of the session afterwards. So you'll be able to catch up on what you've missed or to go over things again. And also the webinar will appear on the Compass Plus Help Centre. And also, I'm sure my colleague Russell here today will make sure that the video is available on the Global Bridge website or in the product. So just to start off by introducing myself, my name's Struan. I'm a consultant working with CEC. I largely lead on the designing of training programs, both in person and digitally. Also might have met a few of you who are Compass Plus users on the regular webinar program that we've had. And also with me today from Global Bridge is Russell Patterson. I'll let Russell introduce himself.
Hi everyone, yeah, my name's Russell. I am one of the account managers on the education team with Global Bridge. So yeah, I'm excited to show you how everything works today.
Thanks, Russell. What I'll also say as well, the way we like to do these sessions is, depending on the varying numbers we get coming on to the session, we tend to ask people, if possible, because we are quite often demonstrating product as well. It's easier if we manage questions towards the end of the session, and we'll make sure we allow time for questions at the end of the session. Please do, if you have any questions as they occur to you, if you want to drop them in the chat or in the Q&A, we can make sure also we pick those up at the end. So just to go through very briefly the agenda. So we're going to cover the learning outcomes. Then we'll move into the main part of the session, which is looking at the recommended way of using both products together. Then we've also got a short video which explains how to do the practical side of the data export and the data upload. That's something we get questions a lot about. So we've got a short video explaining exactly how to do that. We'll also point you in the direction there, number 4, where you can find more support, both from the CEC side and from Global Bridge after the session. And finally, as I say, we'll make sure we leave time for any questions that you might have. So what we want you to go away from today is understanding of how to use Compass Plus and Global Bridge effectively together. So there might be some of you on the session today who are just Compass Plus users and I think of using Global Bridge, or just use Global Bridge and starting to use Compass Plus, or you might have been using both products for a while. What we want you to go away with today is a practical understanding about how to use the products together, certainly from a functional point of view in terms of transferring data between the two products. We also want you to go away with some of our recommendations on how you can get the most out of both products when you use them together, how you can use them effectively. And then secondly, as I said in the intro, I'm sure there will be further questions once you start using both of the products together, and we want you to know where to go to find extra help and support. So recommended way in which we recommend you use the product together. So really, we have a guiding principle for how we use Global Bridge, or indeed any of our partners, together with Compass Plus, and that is really based on what we call a cyclical principle. So it works on the basis of a cycle. And so what we recommend is that you use Compass Plus to strategically direct your provision and review your performance. So at a high level, you're using your evaluations data from taking your Compass evaluations to look at your strategy for your programs, looking where you've got gaps and how you might fill them. And then at a tactical level, in terms of delivering activities, if you're planning to use Global Bridge, you can go ahead and do that. So you directed your strategy in Compass Plus, but when it comes to delivering and managing your activities, you can do that within globalbridge, and the data, as we shall see, will transfer between the two. And we recommend that, as I say, that is a cyclical process. It's a process that you manage together, and you go through that process a number of times within the year to make sure your data is always up to date. So how do we go about doing that? Just explain a bit more from the Compass Plus side to begin with. We recommend that you follow a fairly simple three-step process. One is that you plan ahead in Compass Plus, as I say, using your Compass evaluations for guidance. Then you manage your activities across the year in globalbridge, and that you check your progress every half term in Compass Plus via those uploads you are making from globalbridge. So step one then, how do we go about planning ahead in Compass Plus? Well, Compass Plus really has two key data streams that we'd recommend that you use to help strategically direct your program. The first one on the left there is the Compass evaluation. So the Compass evaluation is the first thing you should do if you're new to Compass Plus and you haven't taken one already. You need to take a Compass evaluation, which will start assessing your program and bringing up your scores against the 8 Gatsby benchmarks, okay? And the dashboard within Compass Plus that you see when you log in won't stop populating with data until you've completed the evaluation. So if you've not completed one already, or you've not completed one for a while, then we'd urge you to take a Compass evaluation, and then you can see that data start flowing in. Also on that left-hand graphic there, you can see we've got one of the criteria and one of the benchmarks circled there in red. So what we recommend is that once you've taken your evaluation, you drill further down into the benchmark criteria, and you can see which of the benchmark sub-criteria you've met, and you can see where you either haven't started yet, the black cross there, or whether any of your where you made progress or still to do a bit more on those individual criteria. So that's the first data stream within Compass Plus, the Compass evaluations. The second key data stream on the right of the screen there is your future skills evaluation surveys. So some of you might have attended, you might have started using the future skills questionnaire. We might have attended one of the webinars we've recently put on, which explains about how this new product works in more detail. And the future skills questionnaire asks, it's a questionnaire that asks pupils themselves about their own experience of their careers programs. So all the feedback you get from that questionnaire is directly into the pupils' individual profiles, and you can use that data stream alongside your evaluation data to start strategically reviewing your program, looking where you've got trends, looking where you've got gaps, looking where you've got work to do. So that's before you start creating your activities. What we'd recommend also, particularly at the start of the academic year, and this is something we get asked about a number of times in webinars and other training sessions, is that you can save time by copying your plan from last year across to the current academic year. So that will copy your activities across, the ones you've created in Compass Plus, or you might have created them in globalbridge, and it'll start copying them across to the new year, ready to start populating with your new pupils. Russell, I don't know if you just wanted to say something there about planning and how you go about using globalbridge planning. You say there's not a planning tool there. You just want to say a little bit more about that one.
Yeah, so we don't have a similar kind of planning tool as you have in Compass Plus, where you're kind of planning out across the year. But there is the functionality in there where you can upload experiences in advance, but it will add those experiences onto your student profile. So it is really kind of, you'd probably want to kind of limit it to things that have definitely taken place, rather than kind of populating absolutely everything throughout the year. But yeah, we don't have that planning tool in there purely because there are other tools out there already. So we don't feel like it's something we need to be added in at this time. So yeah. Sure,
thank you. So I guess the key takeaway then at that first step is, and I think this is particularly for those of you who might have upgraded recently from the old version of Compass, Compass Classic as we call it now, to Compass Plus, is that Compass Plus is a data-driven tool. It has pupil data in there, and you're bringing pupil data across, and you're managing pupil data when you're using Compass Plus. And obviously, globalbridge, you're bringing across data as well. So both of them are data-driven tools that you're using to strategically direct your program. So you start building up your. Could I just ask everyone to put themselves on mute for a second? I can hear a bit of noise in the background. Thank you. So yeah, just to summarize then, you start strategically directing your plan within Compass Plus. You can see on the left there, circled in red. Once you start creating those activities, they start coming into your plan, and you start building up your plan for the year. And you can also start looking at the potential impact of your benchmark scores on activities that you have planned for the future. So on the right hand image there, you've got the benchmark 3 circled there in red. So if we have activities that are planned for benchmark 3, Compass Plus will allow you to see what the potential impact of those activities are the next time you complete an evaluation. And that's a really, really key data intelligence tool that you access from the second drop down here above your dashboard. We get a number of careers leaders have been using Compass Plus for a while, haven't actually used that second drop down there. Just really, really useful. See what the likely impact is of the activities that you might have created in Compass Plus, or you might have created in globalbridge and have uploaded. You can immediately see, particularly if you're asked to justify where you're putting resources, what effect they're going to have. You might be asked that by a member of SLT, Ofsted, for instance. You can quickly do that in Compass Plus. So as you build up your plan through the year, obviously you're continuing to mend your activities, you're checking and rechecking the impact with your evaluation results, as I say, the data visualization. And then you're checking on that progress within your plan. So your plan is where you hold all your activities in Compass Plus throughout the year. So when it comes to managing, the second step then is when you come to managing those activities, how you go about delivering them to meet those gaps. I'm going to hand over to Russell now. Russell's going to explain about how you manage that activity in globalbridge.
No problem at all. So the key kind of section in globalbridge for managing your activities is going to be through the manage group section. So if you can just click on the next little section, Stuart, I think there should be a little pop-up. Yeah, so you can find that by clicking on the manage groups on the left-hand side. And then if you click again for me, please, the blue button at the top there is where you would add a group. So groups can be created by any members of staff that you have in the school that have been added onto globalbridge. So they can create their own groups for their tutor groups or a specific group of students that they're working with, offering opportunities to. They can create and record these experiences and add them to the student profiles by creating that group. And then if you can click again, once you click the add group button, there'll be a little pop-up that will show up. You just need to give that group a name, so whatever it might be, if it's a certain group of students or some sort of recognizable name that you can use, and then you can add in a little bit of a description in there about what the group is created for. And then if you click on to the next slide for me, once you've then created the group, it's a case of adding in your group members. So the group members can be added on by clicking on the add members button, just along the top there, and then this drop down, this pop-up should appear. So your students can be added in either by the manager that they've been assigned to, so the member of staff that you've assigned them to in globalbridge, or you can add them in by year group. And then when you click on either of those drop downs, a list of names shall appear. You can just then check the boxes next to their name. And then if you click again for me, please, Stuart. And then once you've added in your students, they'll show up on this list, which is the list of students that you have in your group. It'll show up with their year group, manager, and so on. And then if you need to remove anyone from the group, you can do that by using the little icon at the end there. And then if you can click on again to the next section for me. So once you have created your group, and you've got your students added in, it's a case of adding in the information about an experience. So whenever you add an experience through this function, the manage group section, it will add that experience to the learner profiles of your students. So it's like we were mentioning earlier about trying to make sure it's a real kind of tactical recording of experiences. So this, we would highly recommend using globalbridge for any experiences that you would like your students to have that evidence for on their learner profile. So like we said, it can be added to the group that you've created. If you click on again for me, it's just a case of filling in these drop down boxes. So you can give your experience a name, add in a little bit of information about it. And this is what will actually show up on the student profile. So where it says there, Global Bridge Academy, Year 10 Career Speed Dating, that is the title that the experience will have when it shows up on your learner profiles. And then the section underneath with the kind of description about that will also show up on their profiles as well. Once you've entered in things like the dates and so on, they will show up as well, where it takes place. If it relates to a certain industry sector, you can add that in there. A specific type of experience, you can choose from multiple options in there. You can check off any Gatsby benchmarks, which is where it's going to link into your Compass Plus data here. But you can also record any personal development criteria as well. So this kind of is based on some of the Ofsted personal development criteria. And then there's an option there to add on up to 3 skills that the students have developed as part of that experience. And then any kind of year groups that are involved. So once you've filled in your drop down boxes and so on there, it was just a case of adding that experience. And then once you add that, it will then appear on the student profiles. They are able to go back in and they can add further details to it. So if they have some media files, a certificate, they can attach that onto the experience themselves. And they're actually also able to do a pupil reflection. So if they go into the kind of edit section, there is like a pupil voice section within the experience as well, where they can give it a rating out of 5 stars against a few different categories, and they can write a little bit of a summary about what they've taken away from that experience that you've offered them. And then it is added onto their learner profiles. And yeah, that is how you would manage your careers activities. I think that is the last slide. Let me just double check. I think it is anyway, if you click on for me, Struan. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so once you've added all that in there, it will appear in a list in your group section. So you can add multiple experiences to that same group. Or if it's another group of students, then you would create a new group and then you can add that in there as well. Through these groups as well, you are actually able to, through the mobile app with globalbridge, you can actually send message notifications to them through the app. So if it was a specific group you've created for students that are interested in apprenticeships, for example, if they have the mobile app downloaded, you can actually send them a group message, kind of raising awareness of any other opportunities that might be coming up, sharing an apprenticeship opportunity, that kind of thing, which is one of the other kind of features you can use with the groups function on globalbridge. Okay, thank you.
Brilliant, thank you, Russell. So once you've, as Russell's explained there, once you've created your activities and you're up and running, managing those in globalbridge, what we recommend you do then is that you update your plan in Compass Plus every half term using that activity data you're taking from globalbridge. So the way that you do that, just to explain the principle before we look at it in a bit more detail about how it practically works. The principle is you export a file, a data file from globalbridge. You save that saves onto your local drive on your computer, or maybe on your network drive at school, and then you upload that using the upload facility in the plan section of Compass Plus to add those activities to your plan. Once you've uploaded them to your plan, those activities will also appear in pupil profile. Once you do that, obviously, if you're doing that each half term, you're uploading them, and you'll be able to see using that predicted benchmark score facility, that second drop down there above the first data visualization on the Compass Plus dashboard. You can use that to see what the likely impact of that is next time you take your evaluation, and then you go through maybe the end of the term and complete your Compass evaluation. And really, that's key. As I said at the start, it's one of your two really key data streams within Compass Plus, that you need to be completing those Compass evaluations regularly in order that your progress is kept up to date. And as I say, we recommend that you complete a Compass evaluation termly. So just a summary then, to go back to the broad principle that I explained at the start of the session, that we say this is a cyclical process. You follow a cycle of strategically directing your plan in Compass Plus. You're looking at where you've got activities, gaps, where you need to devote resources, and then you're managing and delivering those activities through globalbridge, uploading the data, checking where you are, tweaking your plan accordingly, taking a Compass evaluation, and then keep on moving through that cycle. So just got a short video now then explaining, I think it's only lasts for a couple of minutes or so, just explains from a practical point of view how you do that data export from globalbridge and how you do the upload of that data file into Compass Plus.
With globalbridge, you can download your Compass Plus report at the click of a button. It's now ready for use on the CEC website. Ensure that the file name matches the one shown here. Your Compass Plus report is populated when you bulk upload experiences and select Gatsby benchmarks from the drop-down menu. To learn how to add group experiences, check out help video number 5, How do I use the groups feature?
To upload your globalbridge data to Compass Plus, click on Plans, Your Plans on the Compass Plus navigation bar. Click on the Upload icon, the up arrow, in the Actions column. A dialog box will pop up. Click on Select File and find the CSV file you downloaded from globalbridge. Confirm your file selection, and you'll see a message confirming that your data upload has been successful. You will then see the activities logged in globalbridge appear on the Activities tab of a pupil's individual Compass Plus profile.
Okay, so I said that just a practical way to implement that data transfer is very quick. Click of a button, really, in globalbridge, and uploading that data export file into Compass Plus. I think I said in the voiceover there that the CSV file, but if it downloads a CSV or Excel file, they will both work. So at this stage, we usually have on these co-branded partner sessions, we usually have a careers leader talking about how they use both products together. Unfortunately, the careers leader that we had planned to come today hasn't been able to join us, unfortunately. So we're going to move straight to the support section now, where you can find more support. Russell, I don't know if you want to just start us off by just talking through how you find support from your side.
Of course, yeah. So when you are logged into your staff admin account in the product, you can find there's a question mark bubble in the right hand corner of the screen. In there, you've got access to all of our different help videos, and there's a link into our member zone as well, which has more information. Another source of support is your account manager. They're always there to support and help with anything that you might need. So they're always a good point of contact. And then there is also the option to email the Global Bridge team at hello@myglobalbridge.com, and they can get in touch and help you with anything that you might need.
Thanks, Russell. And similarly for Compass Plus, those of you who are new to the product will maybe used already to accessing the Help Center, which is at the bottom of the navigation in Compass Plus, the yellow button to the left-hand side of the Compass Plus screen. That's where you'll find all our help articles on how to do anything in Compass Plus, how to work with any of our partners that we work with, obviously including Global Bridge. And that video explaining how to do the data import and export is there for you to view, and also a step-by-step guide as well, how to move through that process. Those of you who have been using Compass Plus for a while might have noticed the widget that we used to have, the help widget on each screen. That's no longer there. Everything now is in the Help Center. So all articles are in the Help Center, and you can also access our online training and any further webinars like the one you're on today. Further program now announced for the summer term, and you can sign up within the Help Center for further webinars. Secondly, your enterprise coordinator, your EC, they're on hand, particularly to answer questions about how Compass Plus, how you might use Compass Plus and Global Bridge together as part of your wider work as careers leaders. Okay, so they're quite happy to answer questions you have about the applied use of both products within your wider work. And then finally, if you do get stuck at all, or you want to get in touch with us, you can email our Compass Plus help desk, and the email address is there on the screen. You can also access the help desk team directly from within the help center as well. So you can just click on there and a form will come up, so you don't actually have to type in an email address there. You can just contact us via the form instead. Okay, so as I say, apologies that our careers leaders wasn't able to join us today, which means that the session is a little bit shorter than originally billed. I can't see any questions in the Q&A or in the chat so far. If anybody wanted to ask any questions at all to Russell or myself about Global Bridge or about Compass Plus, or using the products together. So while you're maybe thinking about that, I just direct you to the feedback QR code on the screen there. So if you could give us if you could scan that, if you're able, and access a form, you're able to give us some feedback on the session today. Obviously, that will feed in to our future planning for our webinar sessions and also our in-person training sessions here at CEC. So last call for any questions before we finish the session today. No, well, if you do have any more questions, hopefully we've directed you to where to find out more from Global Bridge and from CEC on Compass Plus. So suffice to say, thanks to Russell for your help today in helping putting together this session, and we'll hopefully see you all on a future Compass Plus or Global Bridge training session in the future. All right, thank you and good afternoon.
Thank you.